Hi everyone, I'm Tiffany Luce with Tiffin Things, and today I wanted to talk about my experience with the NerdECrafters and Muse's collaboration on Super Not Another Crap Kit. Um, I haven't gotten very far, unfortunately, with this kit because I had a huge problem trying to get a PermaStone casting out of the figure silicone mold. I got my box back in September. Since then, I've made 5 or so creatures, and unfortunately, they all kept coming out with the leg broken in the same place. So finally, with nothing to lose, I decided to start thinking about how to modify the mold. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. So, what I had noticed was when I started pulling on, I could get these side molds off without a problem, no problem whatsoever. But then when I started trying to pull on the molds here and here, what I noticed is that there was an awful lot of tension being put if you pulled here on the legs here. And that's why they continually broke. So the only thing I could come up with after thinking about a couple of different ways to modify the mold was to remove the pressure by cutting this bottom mold in half. The reasoning for cutting it where I did was quite simply this. One, I thought that if I cut it too close to here or here, I wouldn't be able to come up with a way to push this mold together so that it wouldn't seep out of here or here. The other reason for cutting it where I did was because then once the character came out of the mold, I could pull it out this way and then pull this one out this way. That ended up working. I have been able to get figures from the mold by doing that. So that is exactly what I did. Is I cast my figure and then I was able to, unfortunately, I just broke this one's front leg by putting the mold back on. I was able to pull it off that way. And then pull this one off that way without breaking that one's leg. Um, the other thing that I did do, which I noticed after looking at a few, well, I have looked at molds in the past, not for crafting, engineering wise, and they do use a mold release. So I actually put a little bit of Vaseline originally here in this back portion and here because I thought that that's all it needed. That still resulted in broken legs. So once I did this and I have been still putting the Vaseline here and here, I haven't had a problem. Because of that, I was able to finally get a creature, or as you saw, a couple of creatures like this with all the legs. So then I could actually start using the Super Not Another Scrap Kit further with the cause clay, and now I'm about to start playing with the airbrushing. But because I had so much trouble and I had so many figures whose legs broke, I wanted to share this with anybody else that may have the same issue. Now, one more point is when I put my mold together, okay, to actually cast the figure, I started with, like they show in the video, this mold, and then I started to put the molds together like this. Oops, I have to set it down to make it easier. Okay. So as you can see, there's that little gap there, okay? The nice thing is the other halves, the sides of the molds, do kind of help pull that together. And then you do still see a little bit of a gap. So what I did, electrical tape. I cut a little piece. Remember I said that I wanted to have enough room that I could get some tape in there. So what I did is I pushed this together. I put a little bit of electrical tape in here, like that. Then I took a bigger piece to help pull it together. Placed this in there, like this. So wrapped it around the body. And then I also wrapped the rubber bands the way that the NerdECrafter showed around the silicone figure here. I also added a couple extra bands here and here to kind of help push this together. And I also added a couple extra bands along this way to help keep that pushed together. So that way that crack wouldn't get bigger. Um, and that's how I ended up being able to keep my mold still together with that cut there and actually healed creatures without broken legs. So I hope this video was helpful, and I hope that you continue to have fun experiencing different crafting outlets with Muse and NerdECrafter. Thank you very much.